about her mom, and that's really fantastic. So, how did you get from doing what you were doing when you were 18, just what you saw yourself doing when you were 18? How did you get from point A to point B?
Wow. How long is this trip?
It's about an hour, so.
Okay, so the short version is I was convinced as a young guy growing up in Baltimore that I would follow in the footsteps of my grandfather, who lived right next door. My grandfather was a guy who went to the seventh grade, and then he went to work. By the time he was 30, he was a master electrician. After that, he mastered every other trade there was. The guy could build a house without a blueprint. He was that guy. Had the chip, right? He just knew how to fix stuff. Take the watch apart, build your house, do it. The handyman practically is excessive. So, past me, I didn't get that, and by the time I was out of high school, I realized that I would have to get a different sort of toolbox. I learned to act, sort of. I learned to sing a little bit, and I just looked at a completely different way to go. I eventually got into entertainment, kind of Forrest Gump my way through the whole landscape of narrating. I started narrating when I was really young. But there's a wildebeest trying to get across the vast reaches of the barren Serengeti, but being slowly eaten by crocodiles and hyenas, the object piece of my time. Side note, it never works out for the woman. Never leave the herd. So I started doing those things, and like Ross said, really moves on to way. And the next thing you know, I'm just making posts in front of various cameras for various networks, and one show leads to the next. And by the time I was 42, I realized that impersonating a host, though I become somewhat facile at it, was not really as telling an unpublished person as Jerry Jobs was somehow my mother called take the TV out before he died, he could turn on the television and see you doing something that looked like work. So my mother calls me out when I'm about 42. Dirty Jobs began as a special for my granddad. People saw it. 10,000 letters came in. You should meet my granddad, brother, uncle, cousin, sister, aunt, uncle, right? And so for 12 years, I went around the country profiling real people who do real jobs that typically unfold in real towns you can't find on a map. And that gave me a certain notoriety in cable TV. And Way continued to lead on to Way, and a lot of other great things have happened. I have a foundation now that focuses on closing the skills gap, and the podcast you mentioned has been so much fun. It's a writing exercise. It helps pass the time on planes. They're short stories told in the style of Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story. And while I would never imagine for a moment I could fill his shoes, it's been fun trying to follow in his footsteps.
Well, it's all really fun stuff to listen to and certainly fun stuff to watch, but it's also really meaningful because you're one of the few people in the entertainment industry who really does take seriously the stuff that people in the middle of the country are doing. And as the country sort of polarizes between the folks who are in the entertainment sphere or the journalism sphere or the sort of high IQ is how they would term themselves sphere, and the people who are actually working the jobs that actually get things done across the country, that's a voice that seems to have been lost a lot. What do you think? Do you think that's a really serious gap, and do you think that's a bridgeable gap, or is that gap between sort of the people who deem themselves to be smart and the people who deem themselves to be doing jobs that matter?
Right.
Is that destined to sort of increase as time goes on?
Well, there's always been a gap, right? Sometimes it's wide, sometimes it's less wide. And we all fall in love with the romantic version of ourselves, right? Whether you're a journalist or whether you're an actor, whatever it is you think you are, and whoever it is you think you are, you become the sun in your own solar system. Everything else is just a planet in orbit, right? So I think with regard to the skills gap, in regard to really any gap, it's all just symptomatic of a series of what I would call disconnects. We've become slowly and inexorably and profoundly disconnected from a lot of very basic things that I grew up, I was really connected to where my food comes from, where my energy comes from, basic history, basic curiosity, you know. The things that fundamentally allow us to assume a level of appreciation that, in my view, is the best way to bridge those gaps. If we don't have appreciation, if we're not blown away by the miracle that occurs when you flip the switch and the lights on, we're not gobsmacked by flushing the toilets and seeing all of it go away. When we start losing our appreciation for those things, the gap deepens. And I think the gap right now is what's extraordinary. There's 6.3 million jobs that are available as we speak. We have 75% of those jobs which don't require a four-year degree. Yet, we're still pushing the four-year degree as the best path for the most people. And it just happens to be the most expensive path. And a lot of people, as you described, were kind of in the middle, have enough common sense to realize that $1.5 trillion in outstanding student loans is a version of lending money we don't have to kids who can't pay it back and change the job that don't participate in the So, you know, I think there's great common sense that is still alive and well in a lot of people. And I think that as they look at the headlines, they're frustrated. And to be fair, I think people on the coast are coming at it from their own bias. They're frustrated. So a lot of frustrated people are talking really loud past each other, and a lot of truths are inconvenient for a lot of people. So it just gets noisy. Which is a long way of saying, no, I don't think the gap will ever close. I really don't. But I'm not freaked out by it because I think the point is Sisyphean. The point is facade.
So let's talk about the college thing for a minute, because let's say that you're somebody who's thinking about going to college. Under what conditions do you think somebody ought to go to college? As somebody who was a poli-sci major, which is about the most useless degree you can have outside of like lesbian dance theory or something, then
I minored in that, so
if poli-sci is basically so you can go to law school. That's all poli-sci is, and that is true for what we at UCLA called North Campus majors, right? All North Campus majors is like English and poli-sci, all the liberal arts. All this stuff was prep for grad degrees or for getting a low-level job in a newspaper or something like that. The South Campus majors, people who are in the sciences, math, those people were actually doing something useful. Who do you think ought to go to college, especially because there is a concomitant worry that if you don't go to college and you go for one of these blue-collar jobs that you're talking about that don't necessarily require a four-year degree, but those are going to get automated in the near future. What do you think the threat of that is? And you have an 18-year-old kid. Do you tell him to go to college or not?
College boy, then. I'd have gone with contemporaneous, but either way, those two C words lead to the other C word, which is curiosity. No, not that. Curiosity. Right? I mean, look, anybody who's curious and who can afford it should go to college. The thing that I deal with most often with my foundation, which focuses primarily on jobs that don't require a four-year degree but actually exist. When I come out in favor of those opportunities, what comes back over the net, usually with a lot of times, is the accusation that I'm anti-college or anti-education. I'm not. My liberal arts degree served me really well. I got it in 1984. It was a product of a 2-year community college and then another couple years at university. And when the dust settled, the whole bill was $9,800. Same exact thing today is $88,000, right? So my answer to your question is, A, can you afford it? If you can, don't. Now, that doesn't mean don't borrow money, but if you're not afflicted with a passion for the major, and you have to borrow $20, $30, $50, $80, $100,000 in order to pursue the thing you may or may not be truly passionate about, then I don't know what to say to you other than that has to be affected by the peer pressure, parental pressure, and really bad guidance. Because I get it. It's not fair to compare a liberal education to workforce development, right? But at some point, the only four-letter word that truly matters is that. And you can either do it or you can't. I'll say this too. When I went to school, part of what you paid for was access. a big part of what we pay for, right? All this information exists in obviously libraries, but mostly in the minds of professors, and you get access. You sit in front of them and you learn. Well, you know, we have in our pockets right now a device that gives us access to 98% of all information in the world. You can watch lectures from MIT, Dartmouth, William and Mary, all the great schools for free. I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying that the cost of college is unconscionable. And to say that questioning is somehow fundamentally out of bounds, I just think it's the height of hubris.
So what do we do? There's a lot of talk, particularly on both sides of the political aisle right now, about the sort of falling down of American industry, supposedly. This idea that manufacturing is going away, we're moving toward a service economy, that a lot of these jobs are eventually going to be automated or outsourced. What do you say to people who may not want to go to college, may want to get one of these jobs, worries that 10 years from now, they're going to be basically priced out of the market by, they want to be a trucker, and now there's going to be Google trucks on the roads. What do we do about that? Is there a solution to that, or is it just a matter of human beings have to be adaptable?
That, you know, I mean, look, when my grandfather saw me mess up the foundation and hang the drywall, not plumbing, you know, he was very nice, but eventually, he just said, look, you know, you can be a tradesman if you want to. You just need a different toolbox. And it was really wonderful advice in hindsight. You know, the idea that I could work in Hollywood like an electrician, you know, the ultimate freelance, really. By the way, the origins of that word, you familiar with freelance?
No.
It was literally a free lance in medieval days. You know, you're a knight who served whoever hired you. You're a mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have a skill, you can do that because the skill goes wherever you go. What's the question again?
The question was, what do we do about the manufacturing jobs that could be disappearing? Is it something that the government can solve? Or is it a trade problem? Is it a technology problem? Or is it just going to have to be people adjusting as time goes on?
What if it's not a problem at all? What if it's simply the oldest story in the world? I mean, I'm not a history major, but I read about the Light Revolution. I read about what happened in textiles. I read about the advent of looms, what that meant. The same exact argument then. Everybody always says it's different this time. Maybe it is. I don't know. But everybody always says it's different, and it almost never is. In fact, I don't think it's that different. So I don't know what. Can I envision a time when driverless cars and pilotless planes are going all around? I suppose I could. Do I think we'll live to see it? I don't think so. I think you might see a truck driving down the highway in the next 20 years that's completely automated. But I also think you're going to see a human sitting behind the wheel.
So you're just optimistic in general about the possibility that a lot of these jobs will continue to exist, because there's a lot of pessimism from people like, for example, we had Eric Weinstein from Peter Thiel's company last week, and he was deeply concerned about the possibility, as a lot of people are, that a lot of these blue-collar jobs are just going to go away, and you're going to have to end up with some sort of universal basic income where people who are not the creatives end up not working but being supported by the creatives, because all of these blue-collar jobs eventually end up being automated and destroyed over time. I want you to answer that. First, I'm going to make an obscene profit pitch, so let's do that. With all the recent news about online security breaches, it's hard not to worry about where my data goes. Making an online purchase, simply accessing your email, could put your private information at risk. You're being tracked online by social media sites, marketing companies, your mobile or internet provider. Not only can they actually record your browsing history, they often sell it to other corporations who would like to profit from that information, which is why I've taken my privacy back using ExpressVPN. You do need a VPN, and ExpressVPN is the best. They have easy-to-use apps that run seamlessly in the background of your computer, phone, and tablet. You turn on ExpressVPN with one click. ExpressVPN secures and anonymizes your internet browsing by encrypting your data, hiding your public IP address. Protecting yourself with ExpressVPN, it costs less than $7 a month. ExpressVPN is rated the #1 VPN service by TechRadar. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So, if you ever use public Wi-Fi and you want to keep hackers and spies from stealing your data, ExpressVPN is the solution. If you don't want to hand over your online history to internet providers or data resellers, ExpressVPN is the answer. Protect your online activity today Find out how you can get 3 months for free at expressvpn.com/Ben. That's expressvpn.com/Ben. You get 3 months free with a 1-year package. expressvpn.com/Ben to learn more. Okay, so to restate the question for those who forgot it during that ad, the basic question was, a lot of folks right now on both sides of the aisle are worried about the bifurcation of an economy where it becomes in what they're calling now an IQ economy. The idea that if you are a creative type, if you're somebody who can do stuff that machines can't do, that artificial intelligence can't do, you'll have a job in the future and you will and your job will be relatively safe. And if you are somebody who is working as a truck driver, that you're basically going to be screwed and there isn't going to be a lot of job opportunity available to you. Do you think that's something that's not going to happen? Or if it does happen, is there a solution like universal basic income that people are talking about?
That's beyond my pay grade. I'm very suspicious of that simply because it might solve the financial problem, but I think you're going to create some unintended consequences by essentially telling people that here's a big pile of something that you need and you don't have to do anything for it. I just think on a really fundamental, primal level, you're moving the cheese. And I don't know what's going to come out the other side, but I just can't imagine it's going to be good. You said bifurcate, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think fine.
It's splitting it. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a false choice. You know? I think heads and tails are always going to be on the same coin. And this idea that you're an artistic left brain person over here, or this non-artistic right brain, what is that? You know, I remember in the election, I think it was Rubio who talked about more welders, less philosophers, which is very much in keeping with what my foundation says, right? But only on a practical need. But I objected to the idea that a welder can't build Nietzsche or Descartes, right? I mean, I object to the idea that a philosopher can't run an even bead down a seal. This idea that it's one or the other is a very limited toolbox kind of thought. And I think what you said before is exactly right. The answer to that question is purely adaptive. Our ability to adapt and to think more broadly and to take more advantage of the unlimited access that we all have to the same bottomless compendium of knowledge. And to be excited by it, to explore that. I just think part of the solution has to start with curiosity. It has to. I don't have a magic 8-ball, and I have no idea what's truly coming, and I would never want to pretend to. But just because I can't tell you why I think we're going to be okay,
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're not.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to figure it out because we always have. And I'm just very suspicious of the argument that this time we won't. It's just too complicated.
One of the things that troubles me is when I look at because I do politics all day, right? So when I look at the political situation, what I see from both sides is this tendency toward seeing yourself as a victim of general trends. So on the one side, you have people who say we're victims of racism or institutional privilege, and on the other side, you have people saying we're victims of foreign trade and we're victims of economic development. And people who say you should put your own house in order first seem to be getting a lot of flack for that. So as an example, my friend Kevin Williamson wrote for National Review. He wrote a piece specifically about some of these dying towns in the Rust Belt that were very heavily based on manufacturing and factory work. And he wrote this piece basically saying that if your town is dying and you're sitting there waiting for your job to come back for being a fool, leave the town. It goes somewhere else. And it got all sorts of blowback as somebody who's supposedly looking down his nose at the working class. And Kevin Brooks reported his mom was stealing hangers from motels when he was there. Is that something that we as a people can overcome, or is this just endemic to human nature that we're always going to blame everybody else for our own problems?
Yeah, we're always going to blame people for our problems. I mean, I think that's how we start. I think, we don't come into the world, in my view, as pure as we're often told. You have kids, right? You get two kids sitting next to each other. One's 3, one's 2. They're playing. This one wants that toy. This one doesn't want to give the toy up. So the one who reaches over and takes the toy, maybe bashes the other one over the head. This is, we come in covetous. We want. We take. Whatever it is, it can't be alcohol. We're the sun in our solar system. We're the center of our universe. How do we realize that we're not? it's kind of a clunky analogy, but whatever it is that allows us to assume in our infancy that there's this, somehow the universe has come around us to take care of us, that translates to this idea that my town can't die. My job can't go away. I had it, and now it's gone, and so I'm out. Party foul. Not cool. Right? And so it's, I don't mean at all to make light of it. When I read the article that you talked about, you got creamed for that. And then he got creamed again.
Yeah, exactly.
But creamed, right? But look, outrage is for sale. Everybody knows. No one knows it better than me, I don't think. But finding a way to talk about that issue, along with many others, that doesn't immediately alienate half the country, is the thing that I look at as a challenge every single day. It's what I do on my Facebook page. It's what I do with my foundation. It's what I try and do on shows like this. I spent a lot of time on MSNBC, CNN, Fox. I'll talk to anybody who wants to have a fun, lighthearted, yet grown-up conversation. And no matter where I go, people's heads explode. There was a week a few years ago where I went on, and then 2 days later, Bill Maher. I had 3 million friends on Facebook at the time. A couple weeks later, I had 2 million. You know, my buddies on the right just simply didn't know what to do with the optics of me sitting next to Bill Maher. And my pals on the left just had no notion of how to square the cognitive dissonance that forced their heads to explode when they saw me sitting there like that. It'll happen to you. It happens every 6 months, right? So what I'm saying is we're in the world now where it's not what we say that gets us in trouble, it's what we don't. And it's not where we are that makes people's eyebrows arch, it's who we're sitting next to. We're all, it's the proximity of outrage. It's the geography of
What do you think has changed about that? Because I remember 5 years ago, I used to speak on college campuses, and I'd require any security. The outrage industry was there, obviously, but it wasn't nearly at the tenor that it is now, where people are digging through things people said 10 years ago to try and find the one thing they said that they can get them fired over. And obviously, you know, now when I go and speak at Berkeley, I require 600 police officers. Where did all of this come from? Like, I don't remember. I remember people being very angry during the Bush administration. I don't remember it being anywhere near like this. The level of anger that's in the society. Is that something people have attributed that to economics? People have attributed that to cultural splits. Where do you think that anger is coming from?
Well, look, I hate to say it, but I think part of it is social. I have a show now on Facebook. I'm thrilled to be on that platform, and my show is a celebration of bloody do-gooderism. But I also own guns. Right? Social's a tool. Guns are a tool. And we're right on the verge, I think, of discovering some really interesting parallels between the First and Second Amendment. And I think people who would never, ever consider or associate a firearm with goodness are ironically using speech as a real cudgel and restricting it in so many ways. The arguments are really interesting, you know, and if you look at social as a weapon, then it's a weapon that you have. You don't need a license for it. Anybody can have it. The question is how are you going to use it? And most people simply don't have the training or the maturity to handle it. And so the violence and the anger and the outrage that we're seeing, I think in part is a result of having an unlimited amount of access to a platform that gives you both the mechanism to say whatever you want and the anonymity and the comfort to hide behind it. And so people are very shrill and they're very brave in those scenarios. And look, all of that is just the portent to a mob. It all leads to sort of mob mentality. And I think that's what you've probably seen. Things get accelerated, and then there's no place left for it to go, and so they have to act.
conversations get shut down. It really is. It's deeply unfortunate. I also think that with the rise of the social media and with the rise of the technology, I think there's something else that's happened too. And I don't know where you are religiously and where you get your values from, but I feel like there's a dramatic lack of central values in people's lives. That people are now looking for value in the anger. That people feel fulfilled because they're angry. And the angrier you are, the more fulfilled you are. The more it shows that you're an authentic human being if you're angry. If you quell that anger and actually have a reasonable conversation with someone, this means you're inauthentic. It means that you're hiding what you truly feel. But if you're really pissed off, that means that you are an authentic, decent human being. And so the more angry and indecent you are, the more decent you are by this perverse logic. Where do you think people ought to get their values? I mean, your values are very practically based. Is it just from how you grew up? Is it from a religious background? Where does that come from?
I think, it's a nature-nurture question, right? I mean, obviously it has a lot to do with how you're raised. But in the end, you have to hit the reset button and really decide for yourself, not just what you think, but why. This confusion between passion and conviction. There's a line, I think it was Yeats at the end of the best lack all conviction, and the worst are filled with passion.
Intensity, yeah.
Right? So that's it. If you don't have the certainty of your conviction, if you can't make a case, if you can't answer the question you just asked me, which I'll try and get to in a sec, then what is left? Nothing is left but an explanation of how you feel. And so, if your philosophy ultimately redounds to an explanation of how you feel, then you're completely beholden to whatever feeling you might be experiencing at any given point. And then you're just one of those people who follow their passion, right? Good luck with that. Right? Personally, my philosophy has a lot to do with being suspicious of anything that feels easy. This is a general rule. Being wary of all earnestness. In the words of Travis John D. McDonald, one of my favorite fictitious characters, who in hindsight actually formed the basis of my entire business model. And gratitude. A good-natured skepticism, a ton of gratitude, and some honest intellectual curiosity would probably be the best replacements, at least that I can think of, for getting right to the point of, let me tell you how I feel. I really don't care how you feel, honestly. I mean, over a beer, it's kind of fun.
You're talking my language right here. I just don't care.
I mean, it's so much more interesting to understand why you believe what you believe than it is to hear about what you believe. And that's why mobs are boring. That's why protests are tiresome. Because all the placards just simply say, this is how I feel, and this is what I believe.
I want to talk in a second about some of the practical, hard-headed advice that you have.
Are you going to do that thing again?
You bet it's happening right now. Get ready for it.
I'm ready.
But first, let's talk about your sleep. We're never going to agree on everything, but I think we can all agree that we can use more sleep. Getting a great night's sleep is easier and more affordable than you actually think. You don't need a new expensive mattress or sleeping pills. You need to change your sheets. That's why you should check out Boll & Branch. Everything Boll & Branch makes, from bedding to blankets, it's pure 100% organic cotton. It means they start out super soft, and then they get even softer over time. You buy directly from them, so you're essentially paying wholesale prices. Luxury sheets can cost up to $1,000 in the store. Boll & Branch sheets, just a couple of $100. Everybody who tries Boll & Branch sheets loves them. That's why they have thousands of 5-star reviews, and Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Fast Company, they're all talking about Boll & Branch. Even 3 U.S. presidents sleep on Boll & Branch sheets. Shipping is free. You can try them for 30 nights, so no risk. If you don't love them, send them back for a refund. But you're not going to want to send them back. There's no risk, no reason not to give them a try. To get you started right now, my listeners get $50 off your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com. Promo code BENGUEST, because I have a guest. Go to bollandbranch.com today for $50 off your first set of sheets. That's BOLL and branch.com. Promo code BENGUEST. bollandbranch.com, promo code BENGUEST. All right, well, we're back, and I can feel my wallet just got this much fatter because of what just happened.
Yeah, and mine is gone. Because I keep buying everything you're selling.
Well, I mean, this is how I make my money, so I'm glad. If I can get Mike Rowe to fall for my advertisement, I mean, I can get anyone.
How many times are you accused of selling it?
On this Sunday special, like every comment on the YouTube video below, every single one.
Well, okay,
So people say when I run for president, and my inauguration will begin fellow Americans. But first, an ad from Birch Gold. Like this is really what all the comments say below this video, right here, right now.
So I get it every week, right? It's just that people, their heads explode when this weird mix of like commerce and art, dare we say, art, collide. They come together in this happy nexus of serendipity, and yet it's mind-boggling to people. My first job in TV was at a home shopping shop. I sold out before I had anything to bargain. Right? So I mean, I was serious before when I said I really applaud what you're doing, because this show is utterly without pretense. I have no idea what you're going to ask me next. The only thing except we're going to stop every 15 seconds to take care of the brute realities of keeping these lights.
There they are.
Keeping these lights. And so, look, you use the